Is this the world's most popular fried meat recipe? Oh, wow. Of course, I have no proof of it, but I really think this is the most popular meat dish the world has ever seen. I'm talking about the schnitzel or cotoletta milanese or chicken fried steak. Each country has their own version, and I tried to figure out which was the original one and what was the real recipe that started the whole thing off. Truth be told, I couldn't find any of that. It is just such a widespread recipe that is adapted all over the world that basically everybody makes it. Each country has a version of it, and I just have to pick one. So I picked the Jäger Schnitzel, the original German schnitzel. But since it's not like making pasta bolognese where there's an official recipe and their 10,000th Italian army is on standby just to help you get through the process so you get it absolutely perfect, there is no help. But I do have the next best thing. This is my German friend, Jon Rochau. And not only is he an official judge in barbecue competitions, he is also a fly sommelier, which means he has studied cuts of meat, which is the equivalent of a wine connoisseur, but then for meat. And there's no doubt in my mind that my German friend will always tell me what he thinks of what I've cooked. And he's not holding back. And of course, if you're making German schnitzel, it's gotta be pork. So I went to my local butcher, Gert-Jan van der Horst, and his trusty sidekick, and asked him to get me the perfect schnitzel. And he selected the top side of the pork for me. And first he cut off a dark red piece that is a little less tender. Of course, the center slice is the biggest one and the one you want to get. Beating it with the hammer is going to tenderize it, and it's going to make it flat and large. In the end, it's going to make the schnitzel easier to cook, but more importantly, it's going to make it taste super tender and super tasty. Did you know that the word schnitzel actually means little slice? The word snid is a slice, and the last part refers to little slice. And now all I need to do is put a little bit of salt on my beautiful schnitzels. I want to dry brine these schnitzels, and I'm using a little bit of smoked sea salt from Napoleon. And I'm just gonna leave these out for about 30 minutes so they soak up the salt and basically brine the schnitzel. In the meantime, I will make some fries out of waxy potatoes and then slice them up and cut them into small fries. I want thin, crispy fries to go with my schnitzel because I want to impress my German friend with an extra crunch. Then I'm going to put the fries in a bowl of water to get rid of the starch and just let them soak for a minute or 10. And onto a tray with some paper towel to dry them off completely. Then I'm going to take my cast iron skillet and load it up with beef tallow. I'm going to turn on the burners underneath the pan and get it up to a temperature of 140 degrees Celsius. Measuring the temperature is important because we need a slow fry first to get the moisture out of the fries, cook them, and get a first little crunch in them. I don't want to see any browning yet because we're going to take them out when they're light brown so they can cool down on this rack and are on standby when we're ready to fry them up for the last time. Did you know that in Austria it's a sin to put sauce on a schnitzel, where in Germany they just slather the sauce on it, as well as they do in Italy? And the Jäger sauce is, well, if you translate it, it's a hunting sauce, which means I'm gonna take some mushrooms, slice them up into thin slices, and I gotta have some speck, otherwise known as bacon, cut it up into slices too, and we're going to fry that up. First the bacon in a cast iron skillet, and we're going to use the bacon fat once it's completely rendered out to fry the mushrooms. I do also like a little bit of onion. I don't know if I officially need it in my Jäger sauce, but we will find out in the end. Once the mushrooms and the onions are soft, I'm going to add the bacon back into the mix, add a little bit of flour to create a roux, and then I'm going to add homemade beef stock, which I made by smoking and grilling up some beef bones and beef tail. Once the roux looks like this, you can add cooking cream to the mix and keep on going until you have a soft, smooth sauce. And you're done. The sauce is ready to go. It really looks amazing. And I gotta do a quick taste test. I just wanna make sure we got it on point. You know, this is gonna be judged, so it's gotta be spot on, man. Oh, that is good. It doesn't need any more seasoning. I had the Pitmaster X pork stand by so I could add a little bit more seasoning, a little bit more power to the flavor. But all of the ingredients, they just work together to make a really, really good sauce. I think we're gonna nail this one. Now let's move on to the final thing. the schnitzel. I gotta make a breading station. Of course, I'm gonna put out 3 trays. In the first tray, I'm gonna put all-purpose flour. In the second tray, I'm gonna crack up some eggs and then whisk them up and beat them until they're completely mixed up. And in the third tray, I'm gonna put breadcrumbs. And I'm gonna sneak in a little bit of extra seasoning. I'm gonna put in the pork seasoning from the Pitmaster seasoning line. Of course, I'm going to need to fry the schnitzel into something, so I'm going to need to melt butter. Because if you're making schnitzel, you better let it swim in a good layer of butter. But we can't have the egg whites of the butter in the pan at high temperatures. That's why I am melting it all down in the barbecue, so I can separate the fat from the egg whites. I'm gonna take my beautiful schnitzels and put it in the flour. Tap it lightly, make sure that it's fully floured up, and then I'm going to tap off the excess flour so we have only a thin layer left. Then it goes into the egg wash and the breadcrumbs really need to stick. I'm going to press it down real hard and then you get this already amazing look. The next step is to heat up the butter and bring it up to a temperature of 160 degrees Celsius. Once it's there, it's time to slide in the schnitzel. As you can see, it doesn't fit my 12-inch skillet, but when you give it a little time, do a couple of flips, it starts to shrink and then it fits. I'm just going to let it go submerged, flip it a couple of times and wait until the crust turns beautiful and golden brown. And just enjoy the moment of it sizzling away and bubbling happily in its butter bath. Then I'm going to let it drip onto a cooling rack. In the meantime, I'm also going to fry up the last bit of fries in the hot beef tallow. I have it set to a temperature of 180 degrees Celsius to make sure they get nice and crispy and golden brown. And once they look really good, I'm gonna take them out and season them with a little bit of Southwestern barbecue seasoning. And that stuff is amazing on fries. And I know it might be just the thing I need to tip the judge over because it's his seasoning. I got my sauce on standby, I've got everything ready. Now it's time to plate up. Honestly, I think the judges are gonna love this. It just looks so good, and if he doesn't like it, I'm eating it myself. It is just the most amazing plate of fried food I've ever seen in my life.
Cheers. Insanely buttery and with a nice crust. Now some of the mushrooms. The fries look awesome. Crispy, hot, a little bit spicy. Very nice combination. Well done.
No complaints?
Nah, well, it's a good schnitzel that you can ask for. It's from pork. It's with a nice sauce. It has some nice fries with it. It's fried in butter and you can taste that. What could have been better? Well, I would prefer a veal schnitzel, not from pork. I would use veal. And yeah, I think everything else, butter, this is the best ingredients there is. No, I'm fine with it. The butter is really insane.
Yeah, let me get in there. I don't know, but you were really generous with your comments, so now I'm really excited.
Very nice. Well done.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure to check out Jorn's YouTube channel, his Instagram account, and a big thanks to supporting our channel for being here and judging us. I think he's being a little friendly, but I also think that, well, the dish is great, so.
You really have to appreciate the work you put in.
Yeah.
Really did. It took a long time.
Yeah, it definitely took a long time.
The only drawback.
And of course, a big thank you to our sponsor Napoleon Grills for making this video possible once again. And make sure you check their link down below in the video description and check their website and see what they have, because they're coming up with some pretty awesome new grills. He and I know a little bit about what's coming in. This season, it's going to be different. There's going to be a lot of awesome grills on the market. See you guys in the next video. Until then, eet smakelijk and keep on grilling.
Bye.